Hey y'all, and welcome to Stivers Homestead. My name's Zach, and today we are going to talk about the top 5 skills we feel you need to learn this year, if you don't already, to be successful and to set yourself off on the right foot. These are important, they're different, and it's not going to be what you expect. First on this list, home apothecary. Obviously, we're a little bit biased on this opinion because it's something that we really focus on with our channel and with our lives. But it is very important for you all this year to really get serious about knowing how to grow, how to use, and how to really build that home apothecary up for your own medicinal herbs. There's so many reasons why to do this, but the primary one that I think we're all really burned about and really starting to understand is the pharmaceutical companies. It's getting worse and worse every day. The pills that they're putting out there are only masking what's going on with your body. They're not actually treating anything. And then also health insurance is absolutely terrible nowadays. It is so hard to be able to go to the doctor and actually get treated right then and there for a problem that you have. You seem to have to go through 100 different tests. You got to get blood work. You got to get ultrasounds. You got to get all of these different things done when the doctor pretty much knew what the problem was right out the get-go. It seems like everybody seems to be struggling a little bit more on making money, or at least in their head they are. And so they're doing everything they can to get every penny out of you. It's actually going to be kind of a theme in this video that we talk about, how people are being greedy and it's hurting you, and you're able to change this yourself to do it better. So, learning how to grow what you need for your family's bodies in the health category. What are the things that you all take often? What are some of the conditions that we have that we can start treating with herbs? What are those? How can we grow them? Where do we need to grow them at in our yard? And then how do we use them? Let's start deep diving into that information this year and making sure that our home apothecary continues to grow, so we are less reliant on the medical doctors, the health insurance, the prescriptions that are giving out. It is so tough these days to get treated for what you need to be treated for. But I guarantee you, with a home apothecary, you can start solving a lot of those doctor visits right at home. Now that one's pretty easy to learn because there is information absolutely everywhere. We have a playlist even on our channel that talks about medicinal herbs. It shows all the stuff we do. We have ebooks on how to make tinctures, how to make salves. All the stuff that you need to know is at your fingertips. There are so many good books to go out there. Rosemary Gladstar is a great resource. She has a lot of good books that are out there to teach you about medicinal herbs and how to get started. So do your research, really set a plan this year to get big on your home apothecary. Second on our list is relationship building skills. Didn't think that one was coming from old Homesteader, did you? But it is huge right now. I don't know if you all noticed or not, but relationships are like almost dead out in the public, and with even in our home. We're having issues learning how to talk to each other again, because ever since COVID, from there on out, it seems like we are so into our own selves. And I don't want to say into our own selves in a negative way. I'm saying it in a way of like, we seem to be handling stuff ourselves. So we're pushing people out, we're shutting doors, we're not allowing the relationships to grow like they used to in the past. There's signs, there's little signs that people are trying, but I know we can try harder to get back to the way we were and to actually start building strong relationships. I'll give you some examples. It's like I said, it's slightly getting better, but like think about like when you go to a restaurant these days. It doesn't feel the same as it used to. The communication's not there. You know, we have customers arguing with the workers. We have workers arguing with the customers, and everybody just kind of seems pissed off still. It's like, okay, maybe if we just come in with a different mindset, even if there is something going on in our life, if we can come in with a different mindset and maybe have a good interaction with a stranger, that could set off so many other positive things in your life the rest of that day, right? It's so small and it's so easy to do, but we're so worrisome. We're so untrustworthy. We are so not feeling like wanting to talk to others. We just want to go back into our hole and not build those relationships out. So it's a very deep and detailed skill that I'm asking for everyone to work on this year. But I'm talking from the big important ones like your marriage or your friendships or your family, all the way down to the small, lighthearted conversations that you might have with strangers on a daily basis. All of this area is what we need to work on. We have our channel, Stivers Uncensored, where we deep dive a lot into the marriage talk, but it's a lot to do with just spouses and how to get along and how to communicate better. But there's all kinds of research on YouTube. You can do your YouTube Academy and everywhere else to help you learn how to open yourself up more to others. That is a big challenge that I'm asking you to do this year, because I know you can, and I want to see this world get back into the better relationships that we've had with each other and really start thriving, because with people, we thrive. When we're alone, that's where seasonal depression can kick in. That's where sadness can kick in. That's where we start feeling down on ourselves because we don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of, to vent to, and it's really negative for our self-esteem to do that to ourselves. So let's really try to focus on reaching out to people, making sure that we have those close friends again that are beside us, and most importantly, your spouse, whoever that may be. Let's make sure that those connections are as strong as possible so you can have a better self year than you did in previous. Also, to add with that, it's election year. And that is when the relationships seem to completely be discarded. It's either you're Republican or you're Democrat or you're somewhere in the middle. But by God, we don't talk to anybody else, all right? This year is we're all against each other. Let's don't do that. Let's don't do that this year. It's what they want you to do. So don't do it. Don't fall into those games and build those relationships. And who cares what their political lookout is? It's okay. I guarantee you have other things in common. And if you don't, you can still be nice to them. Okay, so the first two were pretty big. You know, it was about health. It was about building relationships. And now I'm going to get into something that I don't think that y'all expected me to say right here, but it is really important, and it is something that is so simple to learn and can save you a lot of money and a lot of heartache. That's driving big machinery and learning how to back up a trailer. You heard me right. Big machinery and trailers. Now, I'm dealing with, in our channel, a lot of people that are in the homesteading life. So there might be a lot of you all that already know how to do this. How to drive a tractor, how to drive a backhoe, how to drive a dump truck if you need to. Basically, just knowing how to drive a stick shift in general is important. Also, just being able to back up a trailer. That is a skill that I feel like a lot of people don't know how to do, or they don't know how to do well, and it's because they have fear of doing it in public and embarrassing themselves. Folks, I know. Listen, I grew up with a family that were boat riders. We went to the lake all the time, and I watched people back these boats up down these ramps. Sometimes it's like, whoa, maybe we should go home and practice a little bit. But I never faulted them because they're out here trying. They're out here not giving up, and they're learning. And the one thing about backing up a trailer specifically is the more you do it, the better you get it. I mean, it can get so easy. If you've never done it, don't start with a small trailer. Like right now, my camera is on a small 2-horse trailer. The smaller the trailer, the more difficult it is to back up. I know that might sound like it should be the opposite, but it's not. The longer the trailer, the easier it is to navigate and control without it doing something crazy. But to do this is so easy, and I'm gonna give you the reason on why I want you to do it first. The reason I want you to do this is because if you have land or if you're doing anything like this, really it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter about land. It doesn't matter anything like that. It always seems to be sometimes throughout the year, we need a trailer that's being involved, or we need big machinery that's involved in some kind of project that we're doing. Maybe not always the big machinery, but definitely a trailer. Maybe you want to go get 16-foot cattle panels from Tractor Supply, or you want to be able to haul a bunch of hay or something like that. Obviously mine's homestead related because that's what I do in life. But those are times when trailers come into play. If you don't know how to do that, you're having to ask a friend, or you're having to hire somebody, or you're having to do these different things to be able to get simple tasks completed that should only take a little bit of time, but if you don't have the skill or the know-how, can really be a heartache for you. It's gonna cost you extra money. It could just cause you a heartache because nobody will do it for you. That's one of the biggest issues, is just finding somebody that can, or that is willing to, without charging an arm and a leg, because that's what I face and see on some of the projects that we have. Either they don't want to do it, or two, if they do, the price is so outrageous that it's like, that's crazy. I'll just do without. So learning how to be able to back up a trailer, get you a trailer, they're not that expensive, it's not that bad. So don't use that as an excuse. You can save up and get you a decent trailer off Marketplace or something like that. It ain't gotta be a brand new shiny one. And then practice at your house on backing it up. Now, I know that sounds silly, but like here, for example, we have a very nice curved driveway that is very tight. And so that is a perfect area to drive up and then back a trailer down. Drive up and back a trailer down. And just learning how to do that without any eyes watching you. So easy, so simple. Give yourself some grace. It's like driving for the first time. It's going to be a nightmare to start because you're not used to it the opposite way. When you turn this way, it's actually going to do the trailer the opposite. But you can watch some videos on this. You can practice with it and play with it. But the biggest thing is just really getting your hands on the steering wheel and doing it yourself. Go slow. If I do this a little, what does the trailer do? Or vice versa. You'll learn and learn and learn, and then you'll become a pro at it in no time. I'm telling you, give it just a couple hours of practice and you'll have this solved. So if that's ever been a fear that you've been facing in your past, don't do it no more. Don't let it be a fear anymore, because it is something that I faced in my past, and then I was kind of forced to do it, right? I didn't have anybody around me that would haul the trailer anymore, so I had to learn how to do it myself. And I'm telling you, once you have that done, your project fear opens up a lot, because taking out things that bother you and making them simple makes life so much more simple. Because we just overcomplicate things that shouldn't be. So, number 3, learning how to drive some bigger machinery. So if you do need to rent one, you know how to do it rather than hiring someone to do it. And the same with backing up and hauling a trailer. Number 4. So number 4 is kind of similar to number 3. It's still in the project-based area. And what I want you to do is I want you to build something. I want you to build something this year. It can be anything that you want it to be, as long as it requires you to actually cut some wood, learn some carpentry skills, at least the basics. It makes you cut holes, cut doors, cut different things just with woodwork that you maybe haven't done in the past, learning how to level things. Jeff knows I'm still working on that. I'm not the best when it comes to getting things level. I also want you to maybe run some electric in whatever it is that we're building. And I want you to maybe have to run some plumbing in whatever that we're building. And just learning how to lay flooring, how to put ceiling up, how to work lights, how to do just a basic building skill. Because that's something that's also gotten really expensive as time has progressed. And then also just trying to get on someone's schedule is crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous. When it comes to this kind of stuff, I know it can be worrisome and scary and just feel like the project's too big for you to handle. Now, writing this stuff down, making sure you have your material list wrote down, doing all that pre-work at the beginning makes the project itself so much easier. Now, previously at our old place, we had a pole barn house, and a lot of that building was me and my family that helped do that. So that's when I got to learn how to do electric, how to lay flooring, something as simple as this, y'all. Like, so we used paneling. We didn't use drywall because I'm not a drywall guy. It's something I do want to learn a little bit more, but paneling was fine. But if I gave you a panel sheet and there was an outlet in that bottom of the wall, would you know how to measure to cut that paneling hole for that outlet to put it up and it's right there perfectly? Those are the skills that I'm talking about, the minute stuff that doesn't seem like it matters. You might be like, I know how to put 4 walls up and brace it and make it level. Okay, let's dig deeper. Like I said, let's learn how to run that electric. Let's how to practice and make sure we know how to cut hose for outlets. All those different things, the small stuff that might not seem like a big deal are, because that could be holding you back from a project that you want to get done. And it's going to save you a lot of money for not having to hire it out. So I want you to build something. I want you to learn how to do an A-frame. Maybe it's a little A-frame chicken coop or a lean-to maybe for some of your machinery you have laying around that's getting weather on it. Learn how to do something like that this year and build it. Challenge yourself. Overcome the fear of, I'm going to mess this up. You're doing it at your own home, and you're doing it small. I don't want you to build a house. I want you to build something small that gets your feet wet and gains your confidence in carpentry, electrical work, plumbing work, all those different pieces that really help you gain skills for future benefit. I feel like I should say too, like none of these are in order because honest to goodness, I think everyone could be my number 1 on my list. You know, it is like the top 5 like holy grail of skills for a person to know. And I think you're going to be completely successful basically in life if you know how to do this, because you're very much not reliant on others. So number 5 is just in the same lines. How to process an animal from beginning to end at home. Y'all, our food is getting faker and faker every day. I've done videos about the microorganism cell food that is just like, what is happening, that is getting a lot of hype, but I know a lot of us are like, there's no way we're touching that. You know, all the way down to the McDonald's chicken nuggets that look like purple sludge before it's produced into some kind of a nugget. My point being, the food we're eating is fake for the most part. It's not real. Everything seems to be 50% or 30% of that, so they're allowed to call it beef, and then the rest is like, what else is it? You know what I mean? It's getting crazier. They're pumping all kinds of stuff in it that we do not need in our bodies. So we need to start learning, if we haven't already, how to process an animal from beginning to end. And what do I mean by that? I mean from it's alive to you kill it, and then you gut it, and then you skin it, and then you butcher it, and then you learn how to cook with fresh meat. Like that, I'm talking about the entire process there. So I know a lot of us probably have done something similar to this in the past, but if you haven't, do it. Find a class. Find a class somewhere that you can go to, or find somebody local that maybe would like to host something like that. I know we've hosted things on our farm before, and it might be you just have a guy that's near you that you can say, hey, next time you butcher that pig, can I join? Like, can I just sit back and help and watch? Because everybody needs a couple extra hands around them. So I promise you, they would probably be like, absolutely, come on in. If you butcher any animal, you basically know how to butcher them all. And that's something that I want you to hear really clear too. Like if you know how to butcher a pig, you know how to butcher a deer, you know how to butcher a cow, you know how to butcher a chicken. It's all just very small things that are different. Like chickens have feathers, pigs have skin with a little hair. It's a little bit different, but you're ultimately doing the same thing, especially when it comes to the insides. It's really just the different size of the organs and how you're harvesting all them out and knowing what an organ looks like. So when you can spot a kidney in a chicken, you can spot a kidney in a pig, it's just bigger, right? Like that's the only difference. So as long as you can learn on one animal, you would be more confident for future animals. And when it comes to butchering, don't try to shoot out by like cutting prosciutto and getting the fancier cuts of life and different things like that. I'm talking ground beef, ground turkey, ground pork, roast, pork chops, breasts, ribs, the main stuff, the stuff that you're most likely going to buy at the grocery store are the butcher cuts that I'm talking about. And the one thing to also remember about butchering, you're never going to mess it up. You might just have more hamburger or more sausage, right? Or more ground chicken. You're not going to mess these things up. You're just going to have meat maybe in a different style, but meat's meat. So yes, we should all learn to become good butchers and actually cut it appropriately as how it should be. But ultimately, you're cutting meat off an animal that you get to cook and eat however you want to. Call it whatever you want to. The whole purpose of this is you're eating clean animals, clean meat that you feel comfortable putting in your body and your family's body. So you're gonna do that this year. You are going, if you're a meat eater, if you're happy with not eating meat, that is perfectly fine. But if you eat meat and you buy it from the store, promise me, you are going to kill an animal this year and you're gonna process it the whole way. I know that sounds blunt and crazy sometimes, or maybe to some of your ears, but I mean it. If we're eating meat, you're not eating real stuff when it comes to the store. You're eating like partial stuff. Let's start doing that at home. This needs to become more of a common practice that we're all doing at home. Think about how much we can tear down the big, awful companies like Tyson and this fake meat stuff, lab meat that's happening. If more of us just started processing at home, like that, things would start changing. If we became the majority doing it at home and not buying it from the store. And I truly believe that can happen. Looking at my little cheat sheet here to make sure I say everything right, or I got everything I wanted to say. So that's the top 5 skills I feel like you all need to learn in 2024. Maybe some you've already done, maybe some you haven't. I would like to know what you think is the top 5 that people should be learning. What wasn't on my list that you feel really passionate about that you think people should learn? So mine, as a reminder, home apothecary. We're gonna build our relationship skills. We're gonna learn how to drive big machinery and at a minimum, learn how to back up a trailer confidently. We are going to build something. We're gonna build something small that if we mess up, it's no big deal, but we're gonna practice and learn how to do basic building skills. You never know when you might need them. And number 5, we're gonna process at least one animal this year for us to consume completely, from beginning alive to killing to gutting and cleaning and butchering and eating. We're gonna do that all the way from the beginning to the end. And I can tell you right now, if you finish 2024 and you knocked off that list, you're going to feel like a different person. You're gonna feel like you don't need anybody because you're confident and at least enough of your skills to accomplish the goals and the wants and the needs that you have for your home and your homestead, or your just regular life too. It doesn't have to be a homestead. Anything that you're doing. These are skills that will make you feel so much better about life, so much more confident. And when 2024 ends, you're gonna be like, I'm proud of myself. I am so proud of myself for knowing all this. I'm also telling you, this list is for us too. Now, we do all of these, but it's stuff that even if you know it, maybe it's been a while since you did it, so you need to refresh and make sure that you're doing it again too. It's been a while since I built something. Last time I built something was our store down there, and we've had it done for a couple years now. So I want to build something. You know, I want to make sure that I keep myself fresh, refreshed, and knowledgeable to be able to do this well and confidently. So y'all, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I love talking about this stuff. Let me know if you like this style and if you have any things that you would like me to discuss in future videos. What are some of the things that you're curious about that you should be doing? Let's talk about it. Let's get in detail. I would happily throw it into another video. Just put it down in the comments and I'll make sure to check. If you're new around here, y'all, please hit that subscribe button. We love y'all. Until the next one. Bye.